Welcome to the Ghost Town Population U. Imagine stepping into a place where time seems to have stood still. Picture this. You're strolling down Main Street, USA, except it's not so lively. The hustle and bustle of everyday life is nowhere to be found. The buildings are boarded up, tumbleweeds roll by, and the only sound is the wind whistling through the empty streets. It's like stepping into a scene from an old Western movie. Nope, it's not a zombie apocalypse movie set, it's a ghost town. These places are real, and they have a haunting beauty all their own. These eerie remnants of forgotten communities are scattered across America, each with a unique story etched into their crumbling walls. Every building, every street corner has a tale to tell. Now don't get the wrong idea, these towns aren't actually haunted by ghosts, though some folks might tell you otherwise. The real stories are often even more intriguing. They're called ghost towns because, well, the people who used to call them home have ghosted, vanished, moved on to greener pastures, leaving behind empty buildings and a whole lot of history. It's like they just picked up and left one day. But why would anyone abandon their town? What could cause such a mass exodus? What happened to turn these once thriving communities into ghost town legends? Was it economic collapse, natural disaster, or something else entirely? Buckle up, because we're about to dive headfirst into the fascinating and sometimes hilarious world of America's abandoned towns. Each one has its own unique story, and we're here to uncover them. Think of it like this. Imagine a town is like a party. At first it's all excitement and energy. At first it's all popping. Gold rush, boom. People flock in, businesses open, and the town thrives. Railroad coming through, choo-choo, jobs, saloons, the works. The town becomes a hub of activity and opportunity, but parties don't last forever, do they? Eventually, the music fades, the guests leave, and all that's left is an empty room. Just like that, these towns were left behind, frozen in time. So the music stopped, the snacks are gone, and the kegs run dry. It's like the party ended, and everyone just vanished into thin air. That's kind of what happens to some towns. They go from bustling centers of activity to eerie ghost towns almost overnight. The reasons these towns went belly up are as varied as a prospector's hopes of striking it rich. Some were built on dreams that were as fragile as a house of cards. Sometimes, it's all about the Benjamins, or lack thereof. When the money dries up, so does the life of the town. Remember that gold rush we mentioned? It brought people in droves, all hoping to strike it rich. Yeah, those could be as fleeting as a Kardashian marriage. Once the gold was gone, so were the people. The gold dries up, the jobs disappear, and folks pack up and head for the next big thing, leaving behind a shell of a town. It's a cycle as old as time. Then there's Mother Nature who, let's face it, doesn't always play nice. She can be as unpredictable as a cat on a hot tin roof. Floods, earthquakes, droughts, she's got a whole arsenal of ways to make a town say nope, and relocate to higher, drier, and generally less disaster-prone ground. It's like she's got a personal vendetta against some places. And let's not forget good old-fashioned progress. Sometimes it's the march of time that leaves towns in the dust. Remember when that railroad was the hottest thing since sliced bread? It connected towns and brought prosperity? Well, sometimes progress means taking a detour, and towns that were once bustling hubs find themselves bypassed and forgotten, left to slowly fade into the landscape. It's like they were written out of the story. It's like the town's playlist got stuck on polka music and nobody wants to stick around for that. The charm wears off, and the silence becomes deafening. Sad for the town, but hey, at least the tumbleweeds are having a blast. They get the run of the place, rolling through like they own it. Now for the fun part, the quirky leftovers and tall tales that make ghost towns so darn interesting. These places are like time capsules, frozen in a moment, waiting for someone to uncover their secrets. Because let's be honest, what's a good ghost town without a few good ghost stories, right? The eerie silence, the creaking wood, and the whispers of the past all add to the mystique. Take, for instance, the legend of the ghostly piano player in some dusty old saloon. It's said that on moonlit nights the ghost of a long-forgotten musician returns to play haunting melodies. Locals will swear on their sourdough starter that you can still hear the faint tinkling of the ivories late at night, even though the piano hasn't been tuned since, well, forever. It's these little details that bring the stories to life. Then there are the strange and wonderful things people leave behind. Each item tells a story, a glimpse into the lives of those who once called these places home. We're not just talking about dusty furniture and cobweb dishes, although there's plenty of that too. These remnants are like breadcrumbs leading us back to a different era. We're talking about things like vintage cars rusting in fields, relics of a bygone age when these towns were bustling with life, old-timey advertisements painted on the sides of buildings, each one a piece of history slowly fading away. And maybe even the occasional pair of long-forgotten bloomers flapping on a clothesline. These quirky finds add a touch of humor to the otherwise somber atmosphere. It's like a giant game of I Spy with a side of historical intrigue. Every corner turned reveals a new mystery, a new story waiting to be told. Plus, you never know when you might stumble upon something truly bizarre, like a whole town populated by mannequins. These unexpected discoveries keep the adventure alive. Okay, maybe not that last one, but a guy can dream, right? So, next time you find yourself in a ghost town, take a moment to appreciate the quirky leftovers and ghostly tales that make these places so fascinating.